as Americans in these freedoms that we have, in many other countries, they don't enjoy those freedoms. You can't understand and you can't appreciate the freedoms that we have in this country because of the people that have served until you've lived in a foreign country, not as a tourist, not as a student, but as a soldier.
Welcome back into In Focus Kentucky. I'm Mario Anderson. On today's episode, we're taking a look at how teachers, students, and local elected officials right here in Northern Kentucky are honoring and thanking veterans throughout the country, but also right here in the Bluegrass State. And joining me to talk more about the Take a Vets to School event that happened here at Beechwood High School is State Senator Chris McDaniel. Welcome back to In Focus Kentucky, and also thank you for your service to our country.
Thanks for having me.
We are happy to have you here as we are broadcasting from Beechwood High School. Senator McDaniel, talk about, for viewers that may not be aware, you actually are a part of, you're in the military and you actually went to the Citadel. So talk about your experience with that and how it shaped your life.
Sure. It changes who you are forever. I had the good fortune of spending 4 years in the Army as an infantry officer, as a platoon leader and a battalion personnel officer, maintenance officer, executive officer. And you know, those experiences, getting to be with soldiers and lead soldiers and, you know, times that are in garrison and times that are more active, certainly changes the way that you view the world, changes the way you realize the sacrifices that young people make on behalf of this nation every single day, both home and abroad, and it really gives you an appreciation for some of the things that it takes to make a democracy like ours work every day.
And this wasn't your first time speaking here at Beechwood High School for this particular Take a Vet to School event. So talk about why you wanted to come back again and be a part of this event once again.
Sure. You know, Charter's always been great, and they invited me back each year to speak to these students, and I think it's so important to really help kids at this age who are between 7th and 12th grade really begin to understand the idea that the security that they feel and the freedoms that they have. I mean, it's just normal to them, but it's not free for them to be able to have the freedoms that we do here in the United States. And so I think it's important to express in very simply to them that there's something much greater to this world than you and the blanket of security that's provided every day.
And share with us about your work down in Frankfort over in the Senate. How does this military and your background translate to the work that you're doing down in the city of Frankfort, the capital?
Sure. So, you know, I chair the Appropriations and Revenue Committee, which handles the budget for the Commonwealth. And so every other year we go through and spend about $60 billion of taxpayer dollars. And the fact is we're constitutionally required to balance a budget, and we also have a constitutionally mandated end date. And frankly, as you bear down on the last 2 or 3 weeks of session, it becomes almost an around-the-clock operation. And you have to have a lot of good people who have been trained either by myself or by so many others and through their own study and their own work to be professionals. And everybody has to execute their tasks very, very well in a very, very tight timeline. And getting the opportunity to serve around those is very much like getting the opportunity to serve around military people, because it is a complex, fast-moving operation at the end. And at the end of the day, it's all those people that pull it together.
And as we get closer to that 2019 session that is getting closer and closer, a lot of high priorities for you as you get ready to get back in Frankfort?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that we have to do is take a look at where we are in terms of revenue for the year. Are we over budget? Are we under budget? Are there any adjustments that need to be made? Obviously, we just came through an election cycle, so there will be a transition in the leadership of the chambers that will be very important, and I'm sure that there's going to be lots of other issues, cleanups from tax reform and things like that, that we'll also be addressing.
Well, Senator McDaniel, we really appreciate your service to the country, but also rejoining us once again here on In Focus Kentucky and the work that you're doing down in Frankfort.
Well, we appreciate having you in Northern Kentucky, and thanks for having me on.
You bet. That's it for today's program. We appreciate you joining us for this special edition of In Focus Kentucky from Beechwood High School. You can watch this or any of our past shows online at spectruminfocus.com, and of course you can keep up with updates about this show on social media. Just follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search at Mario Anderson TV. Once again, from Beechwood High School in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, I'm Mario Anderson. Have a great week.